Hey, welcome back to Full Count Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Blaine Arsenal. And with me today is Vermilion Catholics head baseball coach, Ben Harrington. How's it going, coach?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about you, Blaine?
I'm doing good. Like we just talked about, the holidays are coming right at fast, so get this break going.
Yeah, man. I had a bunch of guys ask me if we were going to practice over the break. I said, man, enjoy these 2 weeks off, get your bearings back, because that grind starts that first day we get back in January, and hopefully it doesn't stop until May.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's right.
Um, is this for people that don't know you, coach? What's your background? Where you from? Playing, coaching, all this stuff like that.
So I'm from DeRidder High School. I graduated in 2003. Went from there. I played under Coach Brad Book there. He was the head coach at DeRidder, I think Iowa, and then Sam Houston for 10, 12 years. I went from DeRidder and I played baseball at Northwestern State under Mitch Gaspar. Played there a couple years, had an injury and hung it up and couldn't stay away from baseball, man. I got a job working at Sam Houston. I was a CECP there. I worked at Sam Houston for 5 years. I went from there and got my first head job at Oberlin. I was at Oberlin for a year, then went to Maryville for 2 years, and I've been at Vermilion Catholic this is my 11th year. So,
well, you've been around the block a little bit.
that's right.
So you say you was at Sam. Were you on the Chad Abear over there?
No, Brad Book was the head coach.
Okay.
Mike Abshire is still on his staff. Brad Book, Mike Abshire, me, Scott Ely, who doesn't coach anymore. But I was there from the 08, 09 to 2011, 12, I believe was my last year there.
Okay.
So went there and kind of, would have stayed there, but I was looking for a head job. I kind of wanted to venture out, and Oberlin gave me a shot. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of had the same route too. I started at Northwest. It's not a normal traditional baseball school, but I wanted to be a head coach, so I took that route.
That's right.
Yeah. And just go back to the last season. You eventually capped it off with a state title. Well, just take us back to the season. How it went, the ups and downs throughout the year.
And going into last year, we had pretty high expectations. We had the year before we'd finished the 4 seed and got bounced in the second round at home and lost a really tough game to Riverside. It had a great summer coming off that loss, and we kind of knew we had something special. And adding Cole Albert, Cruz Abear, and those freshmen that came in was big time. We already had a really good core group of seniors that were winners, knew how to win, and we knew if we brought those young guys along, it could be a pretty special year. And it started out, the very first game of the season, we were down 2 or 3 runs, I think 3 runs in the 7th inning to Catholic High New Iberia, and ended up walking that one off. Just walks. They made a couple errors. We got a timely hit, and we walked that one off. And that's how we started the season. And we played a pretty tough schedule, and had a ton of injuries. If we had our starting right fielder went down with he broke his elbow in basketball. We had John Dartez slid into home at Turlings. It was kind of a freak play, just scoring on a double, slid into home, and his knee just kind of busted open. He had to have 22 stitches, so he was out for a couple weeks. Hudson Abear had broken his hand in the last play of the state championship in football in the kickoff, and he was out to start the year. Our number 2 on the mound he had a really good sophomore. That's Fisher Quackenball. He had a really good freshman year or sophomore year, and came in and he was throwing strikes, but I could tell he was struggling. anyway, he ended up having to have some injections in his knee, had surgery after the season. Aiden Barrow, who was our number one from the year before, went down with a UCL sprain or whatever. And we just had a lot of ups and downs, and had young guys step up and fill some gaps for us. And, ended up being a great season for us. It all worked out.
Yes, sir. Um, how was the community backing y'all on that playoff run heading into Salford for the championship game?
How was the community?
Yeah.
Oh man, you can't. It's hard. It's tough to compare to that Vermilion Catholic community, man. It's like I said, I've been there 11 years. I've never had to ask for help for field work for anything, and they show up. They show up for every sport. You have a very close knit community that loves some athletics. So the community is great, man. I couldn't thank them enough for all the support they gave us last year.
Yeah, I kind of felt the love and support when me and Jordy went under the lights when they broadcast your game against St. Ed's, I think it was.
Yeah,
yeah. Y'all they showed y'all love, and I can tell that's a tight knit community over there in that area.
Yeah, that it's great to have those home playoff games. We usually draw a pretty good crowd for regular games, but it just amps up. It amps up during the playoffs, and that St. Ed's game was great. I know y'all got some good food up there in the box.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did.
They like to spoil our visitors. So that game was great. But man, that Ascension Episcopal game, I remember y'all were going to try and come to that one, but if you remember, we had all that rain and we had to pushing our game further back and further back, and that game right there is one of my favorite. It's not one. It is the favorite game I've ever played at Sellers. Man, it was a lot of people at St. Ed's, but there were more people at this game, and it was a tie game, 3-3 in the fifth, and Bryce Leger hits a 3-run home run to go ahead, and I don't think I've ever heard the place that loud before, man. It was I get chills thinking about it. It was very special, very special, and just happy to do it in front of that community. It was special.
Got a comment right here from Dane Clark saying you're the best. You taught him everything he knows.
Yeah, Coach Dane at Oberlin, my little stint in Oberlin. Dane, he's doing great things over there at Vinton.
Yeah. Now that the season's over with, how was the summer workouts and going into the summer, trying to eventually try to repeat?
Yeah, summer went great. We had we had a really, really good summer schedule, and I love, a lot of people are, why do you still do summer baseball? But man, at a school like ours, our guys play all the sports. They play football, basketball, soccer. So I get them kind of late. So all this preseason, we start in December. I only have 8 to 10 guys out there. So summer is where we find our team. We find out where that nucleus is and kind of start trying to piece together that identity for the next season. And man, we had a great summer. Saw some really good things on the mound. Got a couple good little freshmen coming in, and have some really good 8th graders too. So summer was great. All workouts were great. Weights were great. And the biggest word that we've been kind of really reiterating is complacency, and not to be complacent. And last season has no regards on this season. It doesn't matter. Last season was great, but coming in, you're going to get the bullseyes on your back. You're going to get everybody's best shot, and all those teams that you beat last year, hey, they want to beat you this year. So summer was great. We had great workouts there. Other guys are kind of playing basketball, soccer right now, but we started December 1st out there and throwing and getting our arms ready. So those guys are chomping at the bit, man. They're already begging to take BP on the field and wanting live fungo and Matt, all this. I'm like, hey, just let's pump the brakes. We'll get all that. You'll get all that you want when we get back in January.
I don't think I experienced it, but small school like Vermilion Catholic, where you got, like you said, you got to share all the athletes with different sports. How do what's the hardest part about trying to get your season ready when they're still in other seasons?
Man, I wouldn't necessarily call it hard. You just kind of at a smaller school, you just kind of have to accept what it is. You have to be a 100% a team player, promote the other sports, encourage kids to play other sports. Because, the best athletes, they need to play it all. They need to, all of our athletics need to excel. So I would say that the hardest part about it is just working out the schedules, trying to, especially during basketball season, is trying to line up days that basketball doesn't play. So we kind of schedule around that early, schedule light. And, I just have to go into it knowing that when we play our first few games, we won't have any team practices under our belt. And that's okay because, you guys know your system. They've been playing for you since 8th grade. I trust that they know what we're doing. They know what we're about. So it's just really getting those guys to just start throwing, when you get time, and getting them to get their arms in shape. And we do that during our PE hours. So, it's nothing really hard about it. It's just, it is what it is. And you just gotta make the best of the situation and do what you can.
You kind of mentioned him earlier, but coaching Albert, the class 28, one of the top prospects in the state. How's it coaching with him? I'm sure you make your life easy.
Yeah, he's one of the best things about him. He's a strike thrower. He gets ahead and he attacks hitters. We try to force contact in 3 pitches or less if we can, and man, he just attacks the zone, and that's why he's able to go so deep. But speaking to him as as a person, that's where he excels the most, in my opinion. That is a Class A human being. He's he does it off the field, on the field, all of it. He's a natural leader, and it helps when you're pretty dang good too. When you have those leadership qualities, and you can kind of back it up on the field. It's easy to rally around a guy behind that, and he's one of those guys he'll throw a complete game the day before, and if we got a game the next day, he's carrying equipment to the dugout, and he's just a selfless person, and I'm glad he plays for us.
Yeah, like I said, I watched him when y'all played St. Ed's. He was just a bulldog up there in the mountain. He was just attacking. He wouldn't shy in a moment. He just
his composure. I mean, nothing affects him. Nothing rattles him. And I saw that pretty early on. We left him in. We threw him kind of. Turlings was that game. John ripped his knee open. Well, that was the top of the first inning. He's my leadoff.
Wow.
We score that run. It's 1-0. I'm like, okay, we got to this guy a little bit, and he slides in, and his knee's cut. So we had to make a lot of roster changes real quick. Well, the score was 4-1, I believe, 5-1. Well, I kind of put him in. My Quackenball was kind of at his. I didn't want to. It's early in the year. I didn't want to get him too many pitches, so I rolled Cole out there, and man, he's filling it up, but they start lighting him up. He was fastball only, couldn't get his breaking ball and change up over for a strike. And I got to kind of see what he was about. I got to see his makeup, and I'm telling Kurt Turlings hit it around the yard on him. They hit him hard. And I went out, he got to, 29 pitches, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go grab him. And I got out there, he had 2 outs, and he begged me to let him stay on the field. He wanted to get that last out. And I was like, Cole, I appreciate it, but you done? Like we got this guy ready to go. It's early, but you kind of just told me everything I need to know about you.
Yeah, he's a great kid. I look forward to watching him in the next couple of years too. Hopefully, we don't have to see him in the tournament or not. But yeah, great kid. You kind of mentioned earlier as well. You said you kind of like have to wait for line up for basketball to schedule your dates and stuff like that. So how do you well, now that you're in state, how do you schedule next year? You schedule hard, or you try to go easy? What is your mindset going into next year?
So, man, the mindset is kind of the same. I liked our schedule last year. I thought it was challenging. You don't really have to leave the Acadiana area to play good baseball, man.
You're right.
You can play the best around here and really not go too far. I did drop a couple of the games, and or they dropped us. I don't really know how that went, but
they dropped you, coach. You know
yeah.
that.
I mean, but had a few teams that we didn't reschedule, and I mean we added some very quality teams around this area. We added Opelousas Catholic. I think we're trying to play them over at LSUE. We added Karen Crow had been our last game the last few years back when Thomas Tillery was there. He's one of my good friends, and we had scheduled a game, and I just kind of kept that the last couple of years, and they always play us really, really hard. And it's always a good game with them, but we ended up dropping that one as our last game and picked up Notre Dame. So I felt like those were two quality local opponents that I definitely wanted on our schedule. But when you have success, you know a lot of bigger teams start reaching out, and you just kind of gotta weigh do I really want to go over there and play them? And if it works into our schedule, it does. But did have a lot of teams reach out wanting to get games with us this year, so that's definitely a positive.
So how many kids are you carrying on the team this year, Coach?
So I'm carrying 25. 25. We have 7 seniors. So we'll be we graduated 7 seniors last year. So if I, seven in our class is great. If I can have 7 kids per class, that's kind of ideal. We only had three freshmen come in. I have five sophomores, and then I think six juniors. I can't do the math there, but I had 20 high school kids. Well, it kind of got. I have a full JV schedule, and playing a varsity and JV schedule with 20 guys is tough. So thankfully we're a K through 12 school, so I was able to dip down and pull up some of those 8th graders. So they'll come up. 5 of those guys will come up, and I'm excited about that class. That's a big class, and they got some really good players in it. So we'll have 5 of them on us on our team this year. They'll help us out with JV. So 25 total this year. A good solid number for us.
In your opinion, what is the keys to try and repeat next season?
Man, it's those seasons are special, and it's the biggest thing that I see the differences between a team like last year and teams in the past is just that bond that they play together. Like they trust each other, they love each other, and to try and repeat it's really not to become complacent with last year. And like I said, last year has no regard, but really just trying to build that team chemistry and try to maintain that. I felt like I said, we had 7 seniors last year that coached these guys up and showed them, they showed them how to do it. So I just hope those guys were listening and paying attention to what they had to offer, and just keep that same bond, keep that same chemistry, and not be complacent.
Yeah, I get that too. We have 13 seniors this year, so we just trying to get by, trying to make the playoffs. So we was a 21-13 team last year and didn't do it. So we got a whole new.
My goal every year is 20. If we can get 20 wins, man, that's always goal number 1 is a 20-win season. 20 wins, win district, and win it all. That's the 3 every year. I think that's the standard.
Yeah, 21 wins for us, and we was in the bottom of the district. That's crazy. Let you know how tough our district is.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's big time. Man. I love it, but I always say I'll never be a head coach in 5A baseball.
That's take a beating, man.
Yeah, you always compete for 2nd or 3rd place every year, in my opinion.
Did anything change with the redistricting with y'all? Y'all still staying the same?
Excuse me. So we lost Karen Crow, and get this, we add STM.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's perfect, huh?
Yeah.
Y'all get no days off.
No. So we lost Karen Crow, and they going back down to 5A, and STM is coming up. It's just so brutal, that schedule, that district.
Yeah. So how do you manage? How do y'all manage back-to-back games against quality opponent. Like, how's that gauntlet? How do you keep you guys up? Knowing that there are days you're just going to go out and get your teeth kicked in, and you got to play either the next day or you got to play them again in 2 days. How do you keep them?
Well, the way it's a good question, but the way they already have our district schedule line, so we already start off with Sam, Barb, and Southside. So basically, our mind is try to take at least one out of those first 6. We'll be all right because the harder teams on the front end and the winnable games on the back end. So we just try to. We not. I don't want to say we lay down to them, but we try to compete, try to at least take one. But if not, hey, we got wins on the back end. We can try to go get.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice too. Right off the bat, you've seen the best in the state. So anything after that, you can handle it. You've already seen the best, so that's not a bad situation.
Best in the country.
That's right, the best in the country.
Yeah, man, it's like you said, it's big boy baseball. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to go first inning to last.
That's right.
Coach, I don't think I got any more left. Coach, it was a pleasure talking to you. Good luck to y'all this year, and hopefully you can be back in Salsa.
Man, I really appreciate it, Blaine. Thanks for having me on, and if you ever need me, come on again. I'm happy to be your guest, and I hope I see you under the lights at a couple games this year as well, man. We really enjoyed that.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. For y'all that tuned in, thank y'all for watching. We're going to be lining up more coaches throughout this next couple of weeks on our Christmas break, so just stay tuned. See y'all soon. Bye.